Hi guys, so now I'm going to show you how to mark out and cut a corner halving joint. So just like before with the cross halving, we want to lay out our timber first. So let's put our face and edge marks on, facing each other. So we want a face mark here and an edge, and then a face here and an edge. So they're going to be going together. So the corner halving crosses over like this. Again, we're going to take out half the material from this side and half the material from this side. So what we want to do first is actually measure the width of our timber. So 45 millimeters. So I want to leave a little bit of waste on the end to cut off afterwards. So I'm going to make that 50 millimeters across to the shoulder line. So you pop them together, grab your square, make sure they're nice and flush on the end. Square that across. Okay, and don't forget this part is going to be taking out, so mark that, and this one is going to be marked out. So now we want to square these edges down. I need to transfer it to the other side. So you bring the pencil up to the line, straight across, square that across, and then one more here to the halfway point. So we'll do that the same on this one. Halfway down. So then we want to get our marking gauge again, remembering to work off our face side. So our timber is 30 millimeters. So of course half of that 15. So then we want to set this up. Pop it in the line. Okay, so I'm already still set up. So that's good, but it's always good to double check just in case someone else has accidentally moved your marking gauge. So now I'm ready to scribe my marks on. So again, don't forget, stop with the marking gauge up against your face side. Slowly push away right to the end. One more. Now we're going across the end grain. So, and then finally down here, so pop your pin in on the line and then push down until it stops. That's it. So I'll do the same on the other piece now. Okay, so instead of chopping it out with a chisel, like we did with the cross halving, now this one we're actually going to rip down the corners here with a saw instead, okay? And then we'll cut our cross cut. So we'll start off ripping down, so take it over to the vise. I want to place the timber in the vise on a slight angle, rather than upright. So what I can do is then keep the saw flat instead. It's much easier. So again, check that you're cutting on the correct side. So this is my waist side here. So I'm taking out this section. So I'm going to keep my saw on this side of the line. Start right on the corner here. And what I'm aiming to do is to cut down these two lines first. And once I get to here, I'm going to stop, and obviously I'm going to stop here at my line, and then we will then flip it over. So get the saw started, thumb up the side, Slowly work your way down, keeping the saw in the groove. Okay, so I've got to this point now, so now I'm going to drop the back of the saw. Okay, so I'm stopping at that line now. So now instead of carrying on like that, what we can do is flip over. And then we'll do the same, cut out the corner again, and then you can keep your saw in the line you've already made here. Okay, up to that point, then put the timber in upright, and then we can then just finish off what's left in the middle. So the saw's up to the line there, double check where I am, just need to go a little bit further. Okay, so then I'm ready to cross cut. Pop that in. While you're first starting, it's probably best to grab yourself a little quick clamp or G-clamp and actually clamp that to your bench hook. So it's almost like a third hand for you. Okay, so that's not going to move anywhere now. So now cross cutting again, making sure we're on the way side of the line. Place the saw on the line, thumb up against the side, slowly pull back, get yourself started, and then slowly work your way across, slowly dropping the back of the saw, keeping the saw in the groove. Slow your saw cuts down as you get to the end. And there we go. Okay. So that's our first cut. So we'll do that again on the other piece, and then we'll give them a try together. Okay, so here we've got both pieces cut now. So they slot together just like that. Yeah, we've got this slight overhang here and here. Once we get that corner fixed, we can then cut these corners off and have a nice clean edge there. So that's what it looks like there. I'll show you the inside. Okay, so it's quite simple. Just getting practice of getting them saw cuts nice and straight, and then you have a nice angle here. Let's just check that was square while we're here. We'll pop the square in. Okay, that's lovely and square there. All right, so that is our corner halving joint all done. So once you have all your components cut, we've got our small frame here. What are the joints actually for? So corner halving speaks for itself, forms a corner. Cross halving, you need that when you need two pieces of timber to intersect. Maybe this one, for example, is going to come through here further, and this one this way. Predominantly used in first fix carpentry, for example, roofing or stud work. Roofing, you would have on the top of the brickwork, you have the wall plate, so you often would use a corner halving joint there going around the brickwork. mostly used when you've got something else covering the timber, for example plasterboard, or like I said, for a roof, because the joint isn't that strong on its own. Even gluing it and screwing it, there are much better joints to use on things like doors and windows. We would use a different joint for that. So for this one, we finish it off. We'd want to put that into some sash clamps. We'd then glue it up, cramp it up, get it all fixed, and then once it's all fixed, we then probably want to, maybe this was a gate for example, we'd want to clean up our edges. So we'd use our smoothing plane or surface plane to actually clean up the edges. So I think that's everything. Should hopefully help for your assignment. So good luck.